guys, so today I did an eyebrow tutorial. Sorry, I'm not wearing any makeup because I don't wear makeup when I actually do my eyebrows. So I just wanted to give you a little introduction and show you what they look like as a finished product before I get started. So first of all, I wanted to go over the tools that I use real quick before we get started. First of all, I have one of these little spoolie brushes, which I get those at like Nordstrom or Sephora, wherever you can try on makeup. They have them for like mascara application. And they'll usually just give you a couple for free if you ask them. And then I have these little tiny scissors. I think they're called manicure scissors. I just got them at Target. I don't even know what brand they are, but they work fine. Also at Target, I get these little razors. They come in a 3-pack. And they're great for trimming like excess baby hairs, which we'll get to in a bit. I also just use a white eyeliner for shaping purposes, finding your shape. And then I have 2 different pairs of tweezers. They are both Tweezermen. One of them has a more pointed tip, and then the other one is just regular slanted tweezers. I tend to use these more just because they're like easier to use, but these are a little bit more precise, so if there's a stubborn one that maybe I'm having trouble with, then I definitely reach for these. So those are basically all the tools that I use to groom my eyebrows. I also put a headband in to keep my hair off my face because I feel like if I do a ponytail then it creases and gets all messed up, so I just do a headband instead. Now to get to the actual brow grooming. First of all, the easiest way to groom your eyebrows if you don't really have much experience or you're nervous about creating the shape is to fill them in first and then go back and tweeze whatever's outside of the shape that you've created. That way you can sort of like play around with how you want it to look, and also I would do it in like a darker shade so that you can really see like where the line stops. But if you just really draw on like the line that you want and then tweeze like around that, then it'll give you a pretty good shape without really guessing, you know. But I usually like to do my eyebrows when I don't have any makeup on, sort of before I do like my other skincare stuff. And since I've been doing my brows for years, I kind of know what shape I want. So I'm going to kind of go through how I do them personally. But again, if you're just starting out, I would definitely fill them in first, very dark and fully, and then just tweeze what's outside of that. So now on to how I actually do mine. The first thing that I'm going to do is take my spoolie brush and my scissors, and I'm going to trim my eyebrows. So first I'm going to brush them up with the spoolie brush, and then where the line at the top of my eyebrows is, that's where I'm going to go ahead and cut. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the tail. I'm going to brush them out and then trim along the line that I want my eyebrow tail to be. And then just brush them out. Then next, I'm going to take my razor because it has a very thin edge and my white eyeliner. And I'm going to mark the start, end, and arch points of my brow. So to do that, I'm going to take it against the tip of my nose, or the side of my nose. And you sort of want to do this based on your nose shape. Like I have a wide nose, so I push it in a little bit because I want my eyebrows to make my nose look narrower. But if you have a very narrow nose, you might not push it in. So see how I kind of like push it in a little bit. And then I'm going to draw my line. And then I'm going to line it up with the edge of my nostril and the edge of my eye. and that's where the end point of my brows would be. And if you have like a very wide face, you might want to extend your eyebrows out a little bit more, and if you have a very narrow face, you might want to keep them shorter just to sort of balance things out. So play with what works for you. This is just what works for me. And then for the arch point, I line it up with the tip of my nose again, and then I cross through like the outside of the iris and mark there. Oh, that did not come out very straight, so that's why it wipes off easily. Okay, so those are sort of my 3 guiding marks to go by, and honestly, I don't mark them every time. If I feel like I know if there's only a couple strays or whatever, then I probably won't mark them, but since I've grown them out for this tutorial, I wanted to go ahead and mark them so I knew where I was going with it. So the first thing that I'll do now that I have my markers is I'm going to use my little razor here to get everything that is in front of the white line. Just makes it really easy, that way you don't have to tweeze every single baby hair. And then on this side, I'm going to do everything past this white line, and I angle it away so that way I don't accidentally cut off more than I intended to. Okay, so now that I've got the edges sorted out, time to tackle the middle. So I'm going to go in with my tweezers now, and basically you want to think of it as like a line going from here to the arch and then down from here to the tail. So I'm just going to start by plucking the obvious ones. Okay, and then one thing about tweezing is that you want to pull in the direction of the hair growth, or else, number one, it'll hurt really bad, and then it'll leave little red marks because you are irritating your skin more than necessary. So since on this side my eyebrows go towards this way, I'm going to pull it this way. And then when I do this side, I will pull it the other way because it points the other way. So just a little tip to avoid excess irritation. So I've got most of the big noticeable ones, and then what I do is once I get all the darker noticeable ones, then I go in with my razor and clean up all the baby hairs, because it's just really a pain to tweeze out every single little baby hair. Okay, so then the bottom's pretty much good, and the white mark for the arch is pretty much gone, but I'll go ahead and wipe the rest of it off. We don't really need our markers anymore now that we have the shape determined. So then for the top, I don't like to tweeze the top unless there's like a very obvious dark spot like up there, because I don't want to ruin the shape. But if you accidentally overdo it with the razor, it grows back a lot faster than if you just pluck it out. So I always use the razor for the top, and basically I go along the line of the shape that I've already created, and I just razor everything that is above Okay, and then now that that's cleaned up, I want to brush through them one more time. So I went ahead and did my other eyebrow off camera, and this is the finished look. This is the one that we did together, and this is the one I did off camera. As you can see, they're not perfectly symmetrical, but as the saying goes, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. And anyway, just wanted to show you the finished look. Thanks for watching. I hope you stay tuned to part 2 on how I fill them in. Hope to see you later.